Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope that some of you have committed the words of the Prophet ﷺ to memory. What did he say? Ya ayyuhan nas, afshu salam wa at'imu ta'am wa silu al-arham wa sallu bil-layli wa nasu niyam. O people, spread peace, feed the needy, join family ties, and where we find ourselves tonight, pray at night while the people are asleep. So over the past few nights, we've been unpacking the foundations of the Ummah as built in Madinah al-Munawwarah. Peace and justice, care for the marginalized, strong family values. But tonight, we take it to the next level. Because a society that's built on justice, compassion, and strong family values can still lose its way. What keeps the moral compass of an ummah alive? It is its connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, civilizations can come about. So when we got to Madinah, we became an independent ummah, a state with power. Perhaps not a lot of power, relatively speaking at that time, but with the opportunity to grow. And there were now systems in place. There's a Baytul Mal, there's Zakah, there's these other money-making faculties that we spoke about. So there are systems. Governments can come about, institutions can come about, courts can come about, and markets. But none of these, not one of these, guarantees ultimate success. What keeps a society upright is its spiritual compass, its connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why, amidst the first words that he spoke in Madinah al-Munawwarah, he commands the ummah to pray at night while the people are asleep. Now, I want to focus on 2 points here because generally when we quote this, we look at the virtues of tahajjud, and rightfully so. Because you see, during the day, people can see your worship. Your wife can see your worship. Your children can see your worship. There's always the risk of ostentation, riyah or sum'ah. But at night, when everyone is asleep, only Allah sees you. That's when things get real. Because you're not fooling anyone. You're not putting on a show for anyone. It's one-on-one with Allah. Allah describes the people of taqwa. He says, كَانُوا قَلِيلًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ مَا يَهْجَعُونَ. And they slept only a little of the night. وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. And the ashar time, the time of ashar is suhoor. The time of suhoor, يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. They would seek Allah's forgiveness. They would be in istighfar. Because night worship trains ikhlas, sincerity. Just like fasting trains sincerity. And it purifies the heart. And it reconnects you with Allah in such a profound way. Which is why the Prophet ﷺ said, the best salah after the obligatory salah is the salah in the middle of the night. And specifically in the last third of the night. In fact, Imam Shafi'i says, a dua made at tahajjud is like an arrow that never misses its target. And our scholars urge that if you claim to have a need and an urgent appeal to Allah, but you haven't presented that need to Allah at the time of tahajjud, then you don't really have a need by Allah. That's the level of tahajjud. But of course, we must understand that tahajjud only becomes an opportunity for you once you have established your 5 obligatory prayers. And this is known. Inna as-salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. So why then would Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam specifically instruct Pray at night while the people are asleep. You see, when you're building an ummah, you're not building foundation levels. You're not building the basics. You're not building possible, mediocre, average. No, no, no. You're aiming for excellence. So he's training us, alayhi salatu wasalam, which is why he specifically says, he could have said, pray at night. But he specifically says, pray at night while the people are asleep. Meaning, oh ummah, you need to learn to show up when no one else is willing to. You need to learn to stand up when no one else wants to. You need to be willing to come, arrive, and be present before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it's most inconvenient for you, because in that you will find excellence. The army of Salahuddin were people of Tahajjud. Our brothers fighting in the tunnels are people of Tahajjud. They are people of Quran, people of Hifz. All of them have to be complete Hafidhul Quran and regular, punctual with their tahajjud. And then we wonder, Ya Allah, how do these people survive such atrocities? Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Your connection with Allah. Do not underestimate your connection with Allah. And lo and behold, where we find ourselves in the best possible time to establish this connection. We find ourselves on the 21st night. Today I was thinking, how often do we complain about time? Right? We're running out of time. Time is so little. Time is tight. Don't have time. Because, life, the modern world is filling our time. But then, lo and behold, Allah gives us a night that's worth more than 80 years. He just gives it to us. What a gift. Allahu Akbar. We have an opportunity on nights like this to change our destiny. It may be the night of decree. The night of decree is the night when Allah sends down the decree for the coming year to His angels to dispatch what needs to be dispatched. And what changes decree? What's the only thing that can change decree? What's the one thing that can change decree? Dua. Tonight you have the opportunity to change your destiny. I repeat. Tonight we have the opportunity to change the destiny of this ummah. And we have the opportunity to change our own destiny. This is no small opportunity. He says, while the people are asleep, because there's virtue in being willing to do what no one else is willing to do. That's how you achieve excellence. Any field, any discipline, become of the 1%. How? Because they are willing to do what 99% of people are not willing to do. Be that 1%. This is the ummah that He trained us to be. And how do we learn this? We learn this by standing these nights, long nights, in worship before our Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala as slaves desperate for His mercy. Because that's how we feel. We are an ummah desperate for the miraculous salvation of our Rabb subhanahu. And on a night such as this, as an ummah, if 300 could bring the salvation from Allah at Badr, then this ummah can bring the salvation of Allah on a night such as this. May Allah grant it to us. This is not ordinary ibadah. Allah doesn't bring people in the depths of the night to stand before Him, except those who He really wants to have before Him. Because this is a special time. He comes down and He asks, where are my servants who want forgiveness? I want to forgive them. Where are my servants who have requests? I want to answer their requests. Where are my servants who are seeking refuge? I want to give them refuge. And we will be from among those who will say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, here we are, oh Allah, here we are. And at least have a moment of sincerity, a sincere moment of connection on a night such as this, where we utter words as simple yet profound as Allahumma, oh Allah, innaka afuun, you are the pardoner. Tuhibbul afwa, you love to pardon. Fa'fu anni, so pardon me. And I conclude on this. When a wife asks her husband advice, she knows that she's asking special advice. When my wife asks me and I tell her to go watch my video, she says, why would I want to go watch your video when you're sitting right here? Just tell me what you said. She wants a specially tailored message. And it's all right. So when Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, our beloved mother, asked our beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, if I am to find myself in the night of Qadr, what should I say? Imagine, he could tell her anything. He could tell her, stand until your feet bleed. He could tell her, read a khatam of the Quran. He could tell her, stand in salah from Isha till Fajr. Read. Allah knows best what he could have said. He says, say, Allahumma innaka afuun tuhibbul afwa fa'afu anni. Oh Allah, you love to pardon. You are the pardoner, you love to pardon. Please pardon me. And I remind you again why this is so powerful, despite it being so concise, so succinct. It's powerful because afu is when we ask Allah to not just scratch out the sin, but to tear the page out of the book. To start afresh. May Allah grant that to us. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.